right. Welcome, 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 welcome. I want to welcome you all to KGM, Kingdom Global Media. And we are here today to talk about your reality. We are living our truth. Life starts with your reality. Arch, how do you feel?
That my reality has started, and I am excited about reality. I'm excited about reality. But how are you? Before we even start, how are you?
Reality, I'm kicking. I'm still here. I'm present. You know me. I'm grateful and thankful. And you know, I get to preaching in a minute. So I'm not gonna preach and give it to you, but my reality is I am amazing. I am here. Some
Awesome,
people didn't make it today.
awesome. You came through the hurricane last week.
I did, and you were having sympathy pains for me. You kind of your life was a little, off track as well.
Yeah, we wanted to make sure you was good and coming through, and so you're good, and that's a good thing.
Yes, I am great. I'm great. We made it. We made it through the hurricane. We traveled back to Atlanta. I was able to do some work. Some of my people here had some flooding and all those little complications going on. But overall, all was well. Everything worked out.
Wow, that is awesome. That is awesome. So what you got cooking for us today?
What do I have cooking for us today? So, as you can see, of course, we're in the political climate right now. So, as we're getting into it, now, y'all know I don't really talk politics, but we have to live our reality. We got to live our truth. We got to live in the times that we are in. So, our topic for discussion on today. Now, we won't take up too much of your time. We're just jumping in for a moment. But are you with him or are you with her? And so, for me, I don't care who you're for in reality. I just want you to know the information about the direction that we're going in, so that we're able to take wise decisions. We're able to make wise decisions. So that's what's so important to me in this time in this season. All right, Angela is always our first student on. She said, "Old school is here." Okay, old school. So we're gonna get an old school perspective.
All right. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. So let's I guess that's this. What else? Because I know we have a few things that are going on within the political climate, and a few things that we're going to be doing over the course of the next 2 weeks before we jump into a brief abbreviated conversation about who are you with, him or her. But what else we got going on?
We have some amazing guests coming on in our next few sessions that we have. So we also have just, some little bit of guidance, not telling you who to vote for, but just telling you what to look for. Do your research, evaluate the platforms, all that great stuff. How is it going to impact your community? We need to know who we vote for. How is it going to impact our community? Begin to watch the debates, see what's going on in the debates. I think the debates are, regardless of where you go, where your stance is, sit down with your family, sit down with your children. My son Liam, he's definitely one of those talkers, and he thinks he knows everything. So sit down and watch the debate, and make sure the candidates are trustworthy. Look at what they said before, see if they really lived up to it. And I'm excited because Arch, you decided that we're going to have a watch party, right?
We're going to have a watch party on election night, and it is going to be absolutely off the chain because
Yeah.
we're going to have guest prophets that are speaking prophetically, and it's nothing like to speak within real time. So I'm excited. We're going to have guest prophets, guest preachers, some politicians. What does this mean? And again, and over the course of the next 2 weeks, of course, we're welcoming to the channel a couple of senators and congressmen, because I think that it is equally important for us to know what's going on in the marketplace or in the political arena, just as much as we know what's going on in church.
Okay, let's talk about it. Preach, because that point that you just said is so true. Because I'm just gonna be transparent. We said reality because I'm a person that say I'm a kingdom believer. I believe in the kingdom. God has me, but we have to do our due diligence. Because we may not be of this world, but we do live in this world. So I'm getting
Yes.
better. I'm getting much better.
Yes, we live in this world, Chantel. We do not live in the matrix. I know you are in the matrix somewhere, but we do live in this world, and so we have to we have to guard the things of this world equally as we do those things of the kingdom.
Yeah.
Ultimately, we know that it doesn't matter who goes to the White House as long as God's in the big house. But it does help things to know what's going on around us. That there's a level of awareness and that there's a level of insight concerning the political values of candidates. So what we're doing today, we're talking about: are you with him or are you with her?
Are you with him or are you with her? And like you just said, we are in this world, but we need to know what's going on. But you guys, after this, even after we do our watch party, we're praying for whoever's in office. Just know that we're praying for whatever leader is there. We're praying that God changes their heart, changes their ways, their minds, and that they adjust according to what's beneficial for us as a community. We cannot look at it as individuals. We have to look at it for everyone. So that I just want to throw that in. But yes, are you with him or are you with her?
and equally to be said with that conversation that we're having, and let me say this, Facebook, you all are so blessed because we were not going to let you in on this conversation on today, but we decided to be nice and let you all in on just a little piece of the conversation on today. So do us a favor, go ahead, like, share, and tag some people in this. But just don't only tag individuals, but I think they need to follow our channel, the KGM channel there on YouTube. They need to follow that. So I want to say, whoever you're with, it does not necessarily mean that you're against the other person.
That's good.
So whenever we're talking about who are you with, it doesn't necessarily mean that you are against the other person, but possibly that other individual, their policies just don't work for what it is that I'm trying to do. So I think Angela Tyson, she is already on. Says, do you feel that Black folks just with her because she's Black? Yes, absolutely. I feel that Black people are just with her, or some Black people, some African Americans are just with her because she is a sister. She is an African American. There's so much stuff that I would love to unpack with that question that Angela asked, Chantel, that I don't even know if we have time to unpack that. And there's so much stuff that I can say because I am Black that, of course, sometimes that a Caucasian person cannot say. Several months ago, President Trump, former President Trump, he had made a comment at the National Black Journals Association. He says, about when did she become Black? I knew what he was saying, but of course the news spent it in a different way of saying that, well, who was he to ask that question? What he was basically saying was, she's identified with being, Indian American all these years, which is still a minority, in which that's fine. But it's almost that whole identity politics. When something becomes convenient for you, then you start using that out of convenience to try to monopolize on a certain party or certain individuals. So, but yes, to answer Angela's question, I do think a lot of people are voting for her because she is Black and she's the quote unquote sister. And I don't think that that's a good enough reason to vote for anybody.
I mean, that's a good point. But then when I think about it, especially when some of the men are.
When I got agreement, Angela says, yes, I agree. I'm going to have to send her to dinner. Her and her husband or her or whoever. I have to send.
She always agreeing with you, right?
Send them to dinner. I'm just saying that's the obvious. And let me say this too. Let me jump into. And I don't want you all to think that I'm hogging it from Chantel. She actually wants me to talk more about politics than she talks about. She would prefer to talk about prayer and scriptures and all that good stuff. But just and I hope again everyone like, share, and tag. This is our podcast. It's about real conversation that brings us to a place of reality. The mindset that mindset, we see what former President Barack Obama did this week or last week by insulting Black men by saying you need to vote for her because basically you're Black and she's Black. That's the only way that is summed up. Again, what I like about what I've liked about President Trump, and again, and I listen, I don't pack no punches. I can call President Barack because he's the former president, President Barack. And I think President Trump should be called President Trump because he's the former president, out of respect. That's the only way that could be summed up. Like, what are you Black men doing? You're not gonna vote for the sister. You gonna vote for the white man? We got that clip that we can play that.
Yeah, let's go ahead and play the clip really quick so they'll kind of jump in with the bases that you have. We will pull that clip up. Hold on one second.
And let me say this while that clip is pulling up again. And please know that I am saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost. I am a preacher. I love God's people. But the tone that former President Barack Obama spoke to us in was almost the slave plantation tone. It was that master tone. This is what you all gonna do. And because you don't do it, you need to be ashamed of yourself. You ready?
Yes, hold on. Just 2 more seconds. Technical difficulty.
You're thinking about sitting out or even supporting somebody who has a history of denigrating you because you think that's a sign of strength, because that's what being a man is, putting women down. That's not acceptable.
So did you already say that?
Yes. Yes.
I know you were coming through the hurricane last week, so I don't know, you probably wouldn't.
No, I actually was looking at a comment, and what someone said was just, I mean, it threw me off because it was so on point. But I definitely felt like he was intimidating them with bringing, that Kimberly. It doesn't go with what the video was, but I definitely thought that was a big comment. Judge me by the content of character, not by the color of my skin.
Right. Absolutely. And again, I just think that first of all, let me say this. And again, because we just talking, we letting everybody listen to us.
Right.
I get sick of, the Democratic Party is supposed to be the party of big government. It's supposed to be the party of, we understand your needs. We understand that, that you're at the bottom and you need some help. It's almost a false reality, Chantel, to drop a man that's worth $75 million into a political conversation and say, well, he understands. What does Barack Obama understand? Because what happens is, again, and that's why I want everybody to get the filter through nonsense. Nonsense is just nonsense. You can't talk about J.D. Vance millions and Vivek Ramaswamy billions and Donald Trump billions, because if you talk about that, then you got to talk about Michelle, her millions, and you got to talk about Barack millions. So I think it's all hypocrisy that when we start talking about, well, the Republicans don't care nothing about money. Well, obviously there's some rich Democrats that care about money, because again, Barack Obama is worth 75 million, maybe even more than that. But and the book deals and so on and so forth. So again, sometimes the Democrat Party makes Barack Obama the savior, and they fly him in on the white helicopter and drop him in and say, everybody listen to him. But again, how connected to reality is he really as it relates to the needs of the people? So when people are saying, well, Donald Trump don't know nothing about the hood or the ghetto, well, what does Barack Obama know about the hood or the ghetto?
Right.
How long has President Barack Obama, been out of the hood and the ghetto? But again, it's these false realities, and then they get it by the identity of color. Well, he's Black, so he should understand your plight.
Right. But I feel like you have to go with it's, and so both parties have been very important for my lifespan, right? So
Mhm.
and this is how I look at it. Democratic Party, yes, they do focus on the Black community per se, and they give more to me. They kind of give so they can, kind of take care, make you do a certain thing or whatever the case may be. But in my life, especially when I first started out, that was important to me. You understand what I'm saying? Of course, as I advanced and got more privy and begin to understand the system and begin to increase income, the Republican Party was more advantageous for me. But I cannot discredit either party because it depends on where you are in your life. In my life, the Democratic Party, when I needed earned income tax credits and I needed credits and all those great things, that was great for me at that place, at that stage. It got me to where I needed to be now. Because if you hear my story, you will always hear me say, I was able to save a lot of money because I was saving taxes. I was saving from earned income credit. I was saving from what the Democratic Party had provided for us at that time for low income wages and all that great stuff. And so it benefited me at that time in that span. So now, of course, when we're talking business, we know that. And so I'm not talking about when, mind you, we know that Harris is running for Democratic and we know Trump is doing Republican, but I'm not even talking about them yet. Yes, we have to know their views and we have to know their stances. But right now I'm just talking about how does the Democratic Party meet me where I am and how does the Republican Party meet me where I am. So for now, when they talk about the Republican Party and they talk about the Democrat Party, now they're saying they're taxing more. The disadvantages are higher in the Democratic Party for me now because I'm a business owner. Back then I was not a business owner. So at first I'm like Democrat all day long, so it didn't matter at that point. So again, it to me, it truly, so because I don't want to encourage anyone, I definitely feel like see what works for you, what works for your community, and where you are and what they stand for. And then as you look at the person, are they really coming up to value of what they say? Because most of them are going to be either in business or they have been in politics for a while. We know Harris has been in politics for a while as well. Look at their track record. Are they living up to what they're promising? Trump has been in politics for a while. He's also been a successful businessman. Are they living up to what you want as a person? Are they living up to what you want for your community? What is your stance based off of? And don't just start with looking at that person, but look at it as a whole and how will they benefit you? Because I'm going to say both have benefited me.
One of the interesting things is when, again, identity politics is being used so much in this season, which is sickening. Because it's going to cause a whole bunch of group of people to miss it and mess up. And 4 years from now, they're gonna be like, well, mad. But then sometimes you can't be mad at nobody but yourself because you sold into you drunk the Kool-Aid. You sold into the narrative, the spent narrative of the media. And all they're doing is force feeding you with identity politics. Two things. And I come from a family of Democrats. Again, and I don't mind saying it because again, I'm a grown man. Again, I am a conservative. I'm a Republican. But one of the things, and again, and it's not a bad thing. It shouldn't be a bad thing. A Republican, Democrat. There should be some type of level of bipartisan to reach across the aisle. It doesn't make you a bad person because you're a Democrat. It doesn't make you a bad person because you're a Republican. It just does not. Don't believe the hype. But one of the things, Chantel, that the Republican Party believes in is upward mobility. I learned this in my high school years, upward mobility. The Democrat Party believes, of course, in reaching down and giving individuals a hand up. Get it, totally get it. But and now I'm dealing with policy because see, a lot of people, they can talk identity politics and they can talk big dreams and big things. But when you start dealing with policy, it gets to the nitty gritty of things. I never forget, I was speaking to one of my Republican friends many years ago. And one of the reasons why, Chantel, they don't believe in, increasing minimum wages for people that work at places like Burger King and McDonald's is because some of the Republicans, they don't believe that those type of jobs were ever created for individuals who would graduate high school, get college degrees, start families, and advance themselves in a place of upward mobility. So they some feel like if we increase minimum wages at places like McDonald's or Burger King and those type of places, it will cause the mindset of some people to get stuck right there instead of them advancing the. And so once I understood that, I'm like, oh my God, the Republicans, they're not against us. The policies or the party is not against us. The policy and the party just wants you to advance versus becoming stuck. Now, I'm not saying that Democrats want you to be stuck, but it again, so when you start hearing, even again, as it relates to policy and stuff, when you start hearing these fights about minimum wage and so, but Republicans look at it that some of those jobs were never created to sustain families of 2 and 3 and 4. Go ahead.
No, I'm listening to you. I mean, you're definitely coming from a great point of view, and so I'm kind of just the unbiased one, and I'm going back and forth for both sides. That's what I'm doing for today. Now,
the Bible did say He won't have you lukewarm, or He'll spew you out.
Now you're right, because I was gonna reach that at the bottom. He don't want my kingdom believer stake on there, but I definitely feel like that you have to choose a side. They say what they say, not making a decision is not making a decision at all. When you kind of be like, I don't know if I want to go, and you like, I'm not gonna make a decision. They like, that's still a bad decision to not make a decision. So I definitely get your stake, but I think that was great wisdom that you just spewed upon us about not wanting people to stay stuck. If I raise you up at this level and I give you what you want at this level, you're going to become complacent or comfortable staying at this level, as opposed to pressing forward or moving up. So I love that statement of the upward mobility, and all people didn't have that that ghost spirit, the tenacity to keep pressing, such as myself. Back in the day, I was like, I'm gonna go regardless. You're not gonna keep me boxed in. I'm gonna keep on pressing forward. But everybody doesn't have that, and so some people do get comfortable and get stuck with the benefits that they receive from the Democratic Party. So I definitely understand your perspective and your point of view. So yeah, I definitely.
And what I'm doing right now, I'm just looking up something as it relates to the parties. Again, it's like even. And I know they have apologized now. I know President Clinton, Hillary, and President Biden has apologized now. But, even when you look at the hard sentencing laws that took away our Black fathers in the 90s, those were not passed by Republicans. That was that. So again, what I'm trying to get people to see is move away from identity. Move away from she's Black, he's orange, or he's white, or he's whatever, or he's this, that, and move to the policies. And
let me ask you a question about this. I'm so happy. Sorry to cut you off, but before you go past the Black men, I was actually having a discussion with a young lady, one of girlfriends of mine, and it's some people's fear with Trump, and not Trump, because we're not going there. We're talking about the
policies and
Democrats. But with the Republican Party, when we're talking about our Black men, she began to tell me, she said, well, I have a Black son. And she said, although he's protecting the border, who's protecting our Black men? Because she said that you begin to see more of the racism, and those people from the KKKs get a little bit more fancy. They get a little bit more aggressive. And so she said, okay, I get it. He's going to protect the border, but who's going to protect my son? Because now they kind of get a little fancy with themselves. They start rising up a little bit more. And so that was her state. So how does that go? So I understand the Democratic Party put more Black men in prison and all that type of stuff. And, we know what happens when they feed into our community with the drugs and all that. But again, who is protecting our Black young men when the Republican Party is kind of fueling some of that energy to make it?
I love these conversations. And again, there should be hundreds of people on the podcast on today, because I stand on, I'm a Black man, And so when people can't take that away from me, then they will sometimes attack me, because you can't take away my ethnicity, because a white man can't speak to that, because he's not that. I am that. I am Black. So I feel that I have a little equation in the puzzle to have a voice to speak to that. And so I'm glad you asked. Yes, they have become more emboldened. Yes, I believe in racism. Yes, I believe that there are people who don't like us because of our skin color. I believe in all of that. But I also believe in that, there have been, as it relates to, if we're saying, if now, when you say who's going to protect our Black son, are we saying who's going to protect our Black sons from the police? Who's going to protect our Black?
All of them, because they to me, and because I was in agreement with her, because at first, we were kind of just going back and debating, but I was in agreement that we always say they. You know how people say, who is they? They,
right? That's what I'm saying. Who is they? Yeah. That's
when we say they, we mean they as a whole. We mean all of them get a little more fancy. And I'm talking about from the citizens to the people in the country. The
parents, the white parents,
all of them.
One of the things that breaks my heart is, but thank God for the cams that the police wear. I forgot what they call, their cameras that they wear. It breaks my heart, some of the things that I've seen. But equally, Chantel, that breaks my heart, just egregious, should not have happened, things that they have done, horrible. But then some of the other consequences to some of the things I've seen is that some of our sons have not obeyed. And all of our Black sons should come back home. But then too, if you already know the hostility that whoever they is, have toward you, why provoke that hostility? It's like the football player who was in Miami, that we all seen. I forgot his name. I don't do a lot of football, but of course the police stopped him. And all it takes is one cop who escalates everything and it goes bad. Dude. And again, Chantel, it's always the matter of, well, a white Karen can do it. You ain't white. You ain't Karen. We can't do it. It's been proven over and over. So almost just obey. Again, why provoke that with him rolling up his window on the police there in Miami? It was the football player who just got stopped.
Well, we're talking about provoke. Don't do a provoke. They are the ones that are provoked. They are the ones that, because I've seen some videos where a young man could be just as humble as he wants, and they push and they push and they push until. And what I'm saying is, in the community, they get more aggressive when certain people are in charge.
They get more emboldened, and the only way out of there is to live another day is to fight another day.
So it's a sacrifice. We're exchanging something. We're exchanging one thing for another.
Right. Well, meaning to live another day is to fight another day. Yes, sir. No.
No. But what I'm saying is, we're giving up.
If we're talking about, the police, because that's what I'm always, thinking about in our Black sons. And I have 2 Black sons. Hey, just obey them. Whatever they say, if they ask for something, give it to them. Don't give them any, well, what if they do XYZ to me, Dad? Just yes, sir, no, sir. Ask to see a supervisor. It's only so much they're going to hopefully be able to do, because everything is on camera. And then once they let you go, that's when we're going to fight. And we're going to fight like hell. But if you live another day, you fight another day. Don't jazz out with them. Don't crash out with them, because they will use every excuse to try to say this was justified. So that's what I was talking about. Live another day, fight another day. Just fall back. I seen before the late young Dolph died, he got pulled over for driving a car, and it was his cousin's car, and the plate was suspended. He sat right there on the curb. He didn't say nothing to him. He just sat right there on the curb. They came up and they was baiting him. Why you drive? It was a Lamborghini. You driving a Lamborghini and you don't know that the plate is suspended? No, sir. It's my cousin's car. Where your cousin get the car from? He's a record producer, sir. So that's what because yes, they too, the Blue Lives, they are emboldened, and they too do some crazy stuff. But again, my message to any Karen, the white Karens, the police that are emboldened, people who are emboldened with racism, again, fall back. As my son say, don't crash out.
So two things to that, and y'all, we're gonna come to a close because we're not gonna be on long. We made an agreement, but two things to that is, what about that? There was a couple incidents where the people were just sitting on their couch. They barged in, and they were at home. They were falling back. They were all the way back. It wasn't no more back that you can get. And not only that, and when I mentioned the sacrifice part, I'm saying we choose one thing to gain the other thing. So let's say so my meaning for that, which is not a bad thing because it's just life.
Mm-hmm.
So it's what's more important to you. If the financial gain or the tax credits or the tax cuts or the movement up is your priority and what matters, then we run with that. But just know that whatever decision you choose, there's a sacrifice within all your decisions. If you choose the Democratic Party, you may be gaining this and you may be gaining that, but you may lose your freedom. So whatever choice we make, that's life, and that's all I'm saying is we're sacrificing whatever decision you make. When I wake up in the morning, I decide either I'm gonna stay home or I'm gonna go out and push forward, and there's a benefit for both, but there has to be some kind of sacrifice. So that's all I was saying is, you choose this and you may choose the Republican Party, but then you may lose out on this with, the aggressiveness or our young men, and, you choose the other way, and it's just a lot. So just make sure your sacrifice is worth what you want.
Those who are watching this they need to make sure that they're well read in the policies, and in what the parties are offering. They just need to make, again, one man does not determine the policy. One man is a representation of the policies. But again, I think that we stop at just the faces of two individuals, where so much more is on the line than just looking at President Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris. We need to be looking at the substance and the foundation of what it is that you're voting for.
Yes, I am so in agreement with you. That was definitely a great statement, and that is what's important. Do your research, know who you're voting for, what you're voting for, and how does it benefit you and your family. And ultimately, y'all know I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna end with this, and I'm not gonna stop. Prayer changes things. There's power in prayer. Whoever is up there, we're going to pray that they make the right decisions that's beneficial for all communities, all ethnic groups that's here, all of us.
Are there any questions? They got any questions on the feed for us?
Any questions? Everybody quiet. They quiet today.
They listening.
They listening. I hope they gaining some insight.
That's a good thing. But go ahead, finish. You were talking about prayer and ultimately praying.
Yeah, that was it. Just
you want to read the scripture too, don't you? It's
I'll find one, but I don't have one right now. So. You know me.
Those that are watching and those that are coming in, me and Chantel, we're having a conversation about the political climate. And are you with him or are you with her? Blessings to you, Phil, Pastor Bird. Blessings to you. Any questions? Because if so, this would be a good time to ask, because Chantel's in the answering mode on today. But that's all that I have as it relates to him or her. It's really not even a question about him or her. When you get to the deeper, the deepness of that question, it's really the party and policy, and what does one party and policy stand for versus the next party and policy, and that everybody needs to vote and nobody needs to be shamed for voting either way. No black man needs to be shamed. No black woman needs to be shamed. No white man, no white woman, no Latino, no Indian. Nobody needs to be bullied to feel as though, because it is our American right to be able to vote, our prerogative. You know, the way that we feel is the way that we feel, and how we, and what we feel, like you said, what fits your dynamic the best, what fits your situation the best. And like you, the way, and whatever fits the person's situation that's the way that they should vote. Angela said, what did Angela say?
Who do you believe is the best candidate? I can't answer for that for you. That's a personal preference of who you think is best. Who do you think is best for the time that you're in?
I
I
can
mean,
answer that.
okay.
But see, in fact, she may have been asking you, who do you believe? So if she had, so since the question came up, she didn't say, who should I vote for? She said, who do you believe? So I believe the best candidate is former, I need a drum roll, former President Donald Trump. Former President Donald Trump.
T-Jack says Trump's behavior on January 6th makes me uneasy with him.
So let me respond to that. You know, let me respond. And thank you all for your questions, and thank you for your input. Behavior is behavior, Chantel. Mm-hmm. And there's so many things that we can dissect what happened on Jan 6. You know, it was a rally. Trump says, go and fight like hell. And again, everybody wants to make him responsible for what happened. He did not tell those people to go there and storm. Nobody thought that you were going to see folk climbing and scaling the Capitol. I never forget, I was on the Clubhouse, and all of a sudden, different Clubhouse style popping up there attacking the United States. And I'm like, what? And so then we turned on CNN, folks scaling the Cap. You know, he didn't say that. You know, whether he had some instigating in doing that, probably so. But everybody talks about what happened on Jan 6. But my pushback, Chantel, is you all got a possible vice president, Tim Walz, who's the former governor of Minnesota, who allowed that whole George Floyd thing to happen. Mm-hmm. They burnt down police stations when George Floyd was killed. Mm-hmm. But again, so that's why I don't get into the politics and the propaganda, because everybody talks about January 6th. But again, they burnt down police stations. They destroyed Minneapolis. But nobody talks about that. Because right. You know why? People say, well, they was right to do that because the black man got killed. And I hated what they did to George Floyd. Mm-hmm. So the equivalence of the black man getting killed and Donald Trump and them feeling like the election was stole from them, those people feel like what they did, they was right. Mm-hmm. And again, in the whole George Floyd situation, they burnt down police stations on top of everything else they did. And that was Democrats under a Democratical governor.
Right. But okay, so you still skipped over the situation, you know, that was a deflection real quick, because we still have to address the fact that it's not always what you say, but it's what you did not say. So even, and I think TJ said he instigated it. I
said he instigated. I think she agreed.
Oh, okay. So yeah, because it's what he didn't directly say, okay, y'all go, turn up in the White House, but again, y'all go out there and do what you do. You know what I'm saying? Come on.
Oh, come on now, Chantel. I did not. So was he sending out secret codes? I did not. I heard him say, go and fight like hell. And to his credit, it has been he got into a fight with the Secret Service because he wanted to go down there, and they said we can't take you down there because they had not set up perimeters. So he wanted to go.
Yeah, because he about that life. He already told y'all he about that life. He wanted to go there. He ain't never scared.
He ain't never scared. So I got even more. It ain't like he just sent them in. He got into a fight with his Secret Service, and the story gets murky. One person said he tried to grab the steering wheel. The other person says he just cursed them out, but they said, we are not taking you down there. But he wanted to go. So again, but still, even at the end of the day, he did not tell those people to go down there and destroy. He told them to go down there and protest.
Go down there and protect. Okay.
Yeah.
But with parents, and I'm not trying to change it, but now when they're making a new policy that when your children go out and do a mass killing and whatever, and you didn't do your part to stop them, you're supposed to go to jail.
Oh,
now.
this is far stretch, Chantel. So now Donald Trump, so now Barack is the father of the Democrats. So now Donald Trump is the father of the Republic. Oh,
I'm just saying he knew his children was gonna go down there and turn up. He knew it.
What is in your water today? What is in your water? So now so now Trump is the father of the Republican.
But let me tell you, I like Trump. Trump definitely helped small businesses out. He did a lot for my business, for my growth, for us to stay stable through COVID. So he moved when he needed to move. So I don't dislike him. I'm just putting it out there on the fact that he was
Trump is responsible. So you would Trump.
Y'all go do what y'all do. He went in there and let him out there. Now I can tell my kids now. All right, now. Go on out there and do what you do, and they ready. And if I tell them sit down, they're gonna know to sit
laughing. She's LOL on us. I like the stretch. I get it. So now Barack, I've never heard. Now Barack is the father of the Democrats, and Trump is the father of the Republican. What they say again, I like Trump because Trump is a transactional man. That's it.
Right.
I'd never be his friend. I don't know him like that. I can't even speak to what type of person he is because I don't know him. But what we do know of him is that he's always been a transactional businessman. You do this for me, I'm going to do this for you.
Yeah.
And for me, that's cool. And I was listening to a podcast the other day. Again, you have to know the difference between friendships, business relationships. Trump is just a transactional person. So it's nothing for me there to trust.
Right.
Because everything that he say is just what he say. And the bottom line of it is it's probably something in there for him, or there's and his transaction is all about loyalty. He wants fidelity. He wants the people to be loyal to him. He wants XYZ. How is it going to benefit him? Again, I'd rather get that than get a Democrat. First of all, now Kamala Harris came up just with yesterday. Vice President Harris, Madam Vice President, she came up with what she'd do for Black men. Why had she not came up with this a month ago? You know why? Because they've been putting fire to her feet and saying, what is you gonna do for Black men? But here's the revelation of this, Chantel, policy. She throwing stuff out there now. Can she do that? Will that even get passed? Can that even get past the Senate? And so you'll have a whole bunch of people walking around talking about, well, look, she gave us a list. First of all, she only gave y'all a list because y'all been complaining. And then second of all, can she just like Trump, President Trump, whom I like him dearly, all that rigmarole he was talking about, we gonna make Mexico pay for the wall. Please, that never happened. It wasn't gonna happen, but it sounded good. Okay. Right. So now she don't put this list out all of a sudden yesterday. Oh, this is what I'm gonna do for Black men. Why wouldn't your Black men and your Black community the first people on the list for you to come to if you Black? Why would again? That's what I love. That's what I like about Trump. He don't care if you're gonna call him racist. He don't care if you're gonna say he for his people. I get sick and tired of the Democrat Party. Oh, let's play it safe. We're the party for all people. But yet you're the party for all people. But now Black people are the last people that you address. She could not talk about what she was going to do for Black men this whole time since they don't anointed her to be the runner-up. Nothing she said except now all of a sudden, this is what I do. No, that looked like you just don't put a bunch of whatever together. And again, for us who are smart, well, let's investigate this stuff. Will this stuff even make it through the Senate? Angela says, yes. We got to send her and her husband out to dinner. She got to win. I love the support.
And she liked to eat. And she liked to eat. So definitely, she liked to. All she wanted some wings. But yeah. But
Angela also said, Bishop, they had to hide the red box from him. Yeah. So again, that's my spin. I see through it all. Again, Trump ain't my bestie. I don't know him like that. But what they say in the street, game recognized game. He's a man. He's a man of business. It's evident he don't build so many skyscrapers here in New York. He's transactional, and I'd rather deal with somebody who gonna say on the front end, "Hey, this is what I'm gonna do," rather than versus deal with somebody on the back end promising us a whole bunch of whatever, and you ain't did nothing that you gonna promise us.
Now, I'm definitely in agreement with that, because I definitely feel that he's not for any color besides the money green. Okay, the money green.
That's it.
Talks to him. He is for the money green. You got green, we working together. And I always say as well. So I love this point, because I have said this before. Is, I'd rather know you a snake than you act like you a friend and you really a snake. And he gonna let you know, if I don't like you, I don't like you, I don't rock with you, I don't believe in you. He's not gonna act one way and then do something behind your back. As opposed to some people, they will act like, they're for you when they're really against you, or they're really cooking up something behind you. So, I'm definitely in agreement with your stance on that.
Yeah, that's it. But we get ready to light it up over the course of these next 2 weeks. We're gonna have senators on. We're gonna and our platform, again, because we are a Christian platform, we're not biased. Anybody is welcome to come on the platform, of course, pending approval. But we'll have a Democrat on. We will have a couple of Republicans on. But again, Angela says agree with that, Bishop. Thank you, Angela.
You know what? You got to see about me in a week, and I'm gonna remember this.
Again, I feel like we just need to know where things are, who people are, and what do we say? What's reality? Yes. Don't sell me a bunch of stuff, and it's not reality. It's no way it's gonna get passed through the Senate. It's just a bunch of fluff that's being sold. And that's one of the reasons why I've liked President Trump, because he was not a politician. They say he was just as shocked when he won in 2016. He come from a business background. Politicians, a lot of times, sometime in time past, have had the ability to make false realities, false promises, and know that it's never going to get passed. And this is the last thing that I say. The whole Liz Cheney thing. I'm a politics buff. I love it. The whole Liz Cheney thing. Now Liz Cheney is a Republican who's saying, well, I'm coming out to endorse Kamala Harris. Woman, if you don't sit down. First of all, your father, Dick Cheney, was the VP to President Bush, who they both lied and said they had weapons of mass destruction and sent us into a war for President Bush just to finish off his dad's fight. And so you coming out to say Donald Trump is not integral and democracy is at hand. Your family's a liar. Your dad lied as the vice president. They knew that they did not have weapons of mass. So that's what I'm saying. All this politics, all of this posturing, and all of this, what Trump isn't, everything that he isn't, your father wasn't. Because y'all started a war based upon a lie. They knew that there were no weapons of mass destruction. And so again, listen, I'm by no way am I a dumb black man. I listen, I study, I hear. And so now, again, they march out with Kamala, Liz Cheney. Well, what does that, again, what that say for me? That don't do anything for me. All right. All right.
Well, I hear you. Now, one thing too, because you made me think about it with Trump. You said he was surprised, but do you know there's a clip of him 20 plus years, probably more than that he said it was easy to become a Republican? Did you ever see that one? He said it would be easy to become a Republican because he knew what they like. He knew what to say. He knew how to get in office. He knew to act like he don't like a certain group of people. He knew that it was a game and it was about money and movement. And so I don't know if he was surprised. He spoke it. He was young when he said it too.
Right. I think he know how to play the game.
You know how to play the game.
He know how to play the game. His surprise was more like, these people really voted me in.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think that was his
You know how
surprise.
to play the
But he knows how to play the game. He wrote The Art of the Deal, and I've read that book from back to front. He is a masterful negotiator.
Mm-hmm.
So he knows the game. And there again, and with that, again, yes.
All right.
Yeah. He knows how to play the game. But again, at the end of the day, they all know how to play the game. Barack knew how to play the game when he would make comments, "I'm not the president of black people, but I'm the president of all people." Huh? Bag that on up. The back, you not what? Okay, we know you are the president of the Indian, the Chinaman, the Jaya, but the first person you need to be the president of is the black man, because you black. And so that's why all of a sudden he come flying out now. Oh, you're not going to vote for her because of she's a woman. You are black. Y'all need to do. But you the same person that told us you ain't just the president of the black people. You're the president of all people. And we get that. But again, what those type of narratives paint is for them to build excuses to say, well, this is why I didn't do this.
Mm-hmm.
I end with this. Every preacher get 3 closes. I know you like the spiritual part. Every preacher get 3 closes. I end with this and I'm done. My mayor of Detroit, Kami Kilpatrick, the black mayor, who President Barack Obama could have pardoned, could have got released from up out of federal prison. He didn't do it. Guess who did it?
Trump.
Donald Trump did it.
Yeah, he got a lot of people out. He definitely got a lot of people out. I am in agreement with you.
And it was proven that Kami, that and I always say his name, Mayor Kilpatrick, that his sentence was so egregious. Mm-hmm. Again, they had given him like 25 years. Yeah, yes, he did what they said he did. He did the kickbacks. He was allegedly, because we got to say that because we don't want to ever be sued for millions on our platform. Allegedly, he was having an affair. Allegedly, he did those things.
Mm-hmm.
But they sentenced him to more years than killing a person because they tried to make an example. And watch this. Whoever they is, like me, you said, whoever they is, they wanted to make an example out of a black man. But yet another black man that was sitting in the White House could have released him, left him there. But here comes what? The white man that gets Kami out. That gets Mayor Kilpatrick out. But nobody wants to talk about that. And Donald Trump, he wasn't forced to do it. He didn't have to do it. He decided to pardon him and let him go.
But but you got to realize there's only so much they allow the president to do. Like,
he can pardon people.
But I still feel like there's only so much. You have to go past that because some things, and you said it earlier, they could shut it down for a president. The president, you have to know the board. You gotta do the voting for all down the line, the senators, everything, your state elections. You got to do all the elections, not just the presidential election.
Well, absolutely. But as it relates to pardons and releasing people, presidents can do that. Watch this. And my third close. I close with this. It's us conversing. Everybody else is just listening. I close with this. Let me ask you this.
Oh Lord.
Do you think, and maybe President Biden maybe he is demented, because what he's walking around saying, he said this, and the press secretary, that he's not going to pardon his son, who has now already been convicted, of the gun charge in Delaware, and now he's taking a deal in Los Angeles. He's looking at about 5 to 10 years. Here's my question to you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think if that was President Trump's sons, you know what President Trump would do? He would pardon his sons.
His sons, right.
Because you know what? He's not beholden to politics. Do you know what I would do if it was my son that's facing 5 to 10 years? And again, it was Joe Biden's son, President Biden. That's why I'm saying I'm fair across the board. President Biden's son, what he was found guilty of in Delaware was being a drug addict in possession of a gun. Okay, well, okay, so they found him guilty of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then what he's found guilty of in Los Angeles is like $4 to $6 million worth of taxes, tax evasion.
Mm-hmm.
If it was my son, I would pardon him. But again, sometimes the Democrat Party is so concerned about what other people are going to say, how other people are going to perceive this. Chantel, do you think? Let me say that.
His child to learn a lesson. He may want his child to understand the lesson.
All right. I don't know what's in that water today. That okay. I'm just saying the difference between President Trump, the Democrat Party. It's always they will send one of their own off to die in order not to look bad. They will feed one of their own in order for them not to look bad. And I can't trust the party that won't have my back. I can't trust. I can't. I'm not telling nobody who to vote for, but when people ask me, well, why Archbishop? I can't trust the party that try to shame people when you don't agree with what they agree with. I just can't. All right.
Well, that was his third clause. I mean, I don't know how y'all feel about that, but it is what it is. He is living his truth, and we are living our reality.
Please send all hate mail to kgm@gmail.com. All hate mail for Archbishop Devin Owens can be received there. All love mail for Chantel, because she wanted to stay right in the middle. All love mail can be received for her at that email address. That's all that I have.
All right, you guys, don't forget to follow our YouTube channel, KGM Kingdom Global Media. Don't forget to follow us on there. Again, we are moving towards that direction where we're going live over there. We have exciting, amazing guests that will come in that are they have more knowledge and wisdom to share with you guys on both sides of the field. Just to help give more insight. That's what we're here for, to educate and give you more wisdom, more knowledge that you can make your day-to-day decisions, with wisdom. In the word, I'm always going to give you the word. God says, seek wise counsel. So we're definitely going to do that. And then put in your notebooks, again, November the 5th, we will be here to do a watch party together. Our community is moving together. We're here to support each other through this phase. And even after November 5th, on November 6th, we will still be standing together. So I love y'all. That's all I got. Arch, you got anything else?
That is it. 7M Synergy Conference, December 3rd through the 7th, South Florida. It is going to be absolutely amazing, the prayer and business conference. And that is all that I have for right now.
All right. See you guys later.